Fantastic stuff. Okay, brilliant. Keep up the good work, guys. All right. So now we want to have a look at the concept of risk and how we go about neutralizing risk. Okay. So let's first of all have a look at, or should we rather say, let's try and get a deep understanding around what risk actually is. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is that risk is that unspoken something. It's a feeling. It's doubt in the mind of the customer that they like what you say. You've addressed all of their objections, all of their concerns are addressed. They're reasonably certain that they want to go ahead with the purchase, but there's a niggling something. There's that feeling, that doubt inside them that is this indeed the right solution? Like, for example, they're thinking things like, this looks like a good deal, but with the way technology is changing, will there be something better? Will there be something cheaper? Will there be something more effective in a month or two? So these are unspoken feelings, and as a sales professional who wants to become a master at closing, what you need to do is you need to figure out how to first of all uncover or anticipate what risk your customer might be feeling. And secondly, once you've anticipated it, you need to figure out how can you neutralize it, how can you mitigate it, how can you convince your customer, or better still, how can you tell the customer that we're so confident that our product will perform like we say it will, we'll take the risk completely. So you could say something along the lines of, if the product doesn't perform like we say it's going to perform, or you're not satisfied, you're not 100% convinced or satisfied that it's going to be the right solution for you, we'll give you 100% of your money back. Or better still, you can be so confident that you can say, if our product doesn't perform as expected, we'll give you double your money back. Now that really shows a lot of confidence in your product. So risk is, for want of a better word, a feeling. Risk is doubt. Risk is not being completely convinced that the product is indeed going to do what you expect it to do. The reality though, here's the challenge, is that risk usually remains unspoken, and that's what makes it so difficult to uncover. So here's the thing, a customer will never buy if they're feeling risk. A customer will not always buy if you eliminate risk, but unless you eliminate risk, your customer will never buy. Sales only become possible once you eliminate risk. In other words, if your customer has any feeling, like for example, they feel that there might be a better product out in a month's time. So let's say that is a fear that they have. You could say something to the customer like, okay, so if something better comes out in the next 30 days, we'll gladly refund your money. So that's where you are moving the sale forward by absorbing the risk on behalf of the customer. So the first thing that you want to get out there and learn to do is knowing that risk is very often unspoken. Risk is very often a feeling. Risk is very often not something that even the customer themselves might be able to verbalize. It, for that reason, becomes very difficult. And that's why as a sales professional, you need to get out there and you need to go and explore. You need to go and uncover all the possible reasons that your customer might experience risk. Because when you get to that stage where you've given the most amazing proposal, you know that your value proposition is perfect for the customer. You know that the customer is going to be better off after working with you, but they just stop taking your phone calls. You've given them the proposal. You know everything's worked. You've done everything right by the book. And all of a sudden, your customer just doesn't take your calls. That's your customer feeling risk. The moment you can uncover what that risk is, the sale will continue. You want to learn how to mitigate, neutralize, or completely eliminate risk. So identifying it is pretty tough. But the best way to do that is start to think, start to explore. So this is a process, this is an ongoing process where you start to have a look at your product, your service, your industry, your market, and then you start to say, what risk could my customer possibly be experiencing? Because once you can figure out that, you've got a much better chance of identifying when your customer's feeling risk, and more importantly, identifying it's the first part, but the next part is figuring out how to mitigate, eliminate, or completely reduce it. So one of the ways is, before your customer even goes there, accept the risk 100%. Like, for example, with my sales enablement services, if someone's feeling risk, or let's just say maybe everybody's feeling risk, what if I offer a 100% money back guarantee? I'm so confident that my sales enablement processes are going to work, I'd offer a 100% money back guarantee. How confident are you about your product or service? Are you confident enough to take all the risk? And here's the important thing to remember. We might not be confident enough to offer a 100% money back guarantee, but in reality, if your customers are completely dissatisfied, would you not give them 100% money back anyway? So what you're really doing by verbalizing it, by showing your commitment to offer 100% money back guarantee, is you're actually just saying, I'm going to do what I would do anyway, but I'm using it as a marketing tool.